All right, man. Uh, let's just do it, man. Let's do a Little Ugly Mane tier list. Now, I only did the albums that are under the Little Ugly Mane name. I'm aware of Bedwetter and like Sean Kemp and all that other stuff. But to be honest with you, I wasn't interested in it. And honestly, that's just too much, bro. That's gonna be a really long video. Didn't want to do that, so I just ended up doing just the Little Ugly Mane stuff. I really have no notes, man. And for this video, I actually wanted to go in chronological order because I think that Lil Ugly Mane's evolution, just in terms like in terms of overall artistry, is just really interesting. And I just thought it'd be interesting if I do that. So yeah, let's just get into it. Starting us off, well, I mean, like, let's just go. His first album, Play a Circle, I'm pretty sure it's a mixtape. That can go in like D or F tier, to be honest with you. It kind of reminds me of like UGK or like Viper. Like, it feels like Viper and UGK like combined. You got like these really kind of funky beats, but then you have like these really high in the mix vocals like Viper. It's kind of funny to listen to, but like the vocals aren't great. The production's kind of like low quality. I'll throw it in F tier, dude. It's not great, but it's not a bad album though. It's just kind of like, oh, haha, this is a funny album, and then it's just kind of like, okay, that was it. It's pretty forgettable. I barely remember anything from it, and overall, like, it's a funny listen, but it's not good, man. It's like a strong 3 to a light 4. It's whatever, man. Okay. After Play a Circle though is Criminal Hypnosis, and I will be throwing this one in B tier. This was pretty good, actually. It has some pretty great tracks on here that are on Mr. Thug Isolation. Also has some that aren't on Mr. Thug Isolation. Overall, it's a pretty short listen. I just feel like, why would I listen to this over like some of the best tracks off MTI? It's pretty good though, actually. It's just a pretty fun, like, I think it's like 30-minute listen. Yeah, I just feel like I'd rather listen to some of the biggest highlights off of MTI instead. Yeah, it's a good album though. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's like a decent 8 for me. It's pretty amazing. Or it's pretty great. And then, speaking of amazing, let's just friggin' throw MTI and S, because that's up next. Mr. Thug Isolation is amazing. Oh my god, I think it could be a 10 if it weren't for the fact that it's so bloated. Like, it's amazing, but it's so bloated. Like, you cut some of the weaker tracks off of here, maybe make it like a 15-song album, I think it would be a 10. But like, it goes on for way too long, and like, it's an amazing listen. Like, every song on here is good, but like, man, it just like the almost hour 20-minute runtime really brings it down for me. It's still like fantastic, but like, geez, man, it's like, the vibes on here are amazing, the features are amazing, the production is amazing. It's just super like smooth and friggin', it's so good. Like, it's an amazing album. It's just really bloated is all. It's a very strong 9 for me. I really enjoy this one. I just think it's way too long. I feel like the length kind of prevents me from wanting to go back and re-listen to it fully again, you know? It's an amazing album though, super amazing. As I said, strong 9. And then we got Turns Into, F tier, his worst album. It's like a 1, light 1. It's literally just a repeated phrase, and it's not even bad. It's just like, why does this exist, you know? Yeah, there's no reason for this thing to exist. Yeah, it's I don't really want to talk about this anymore. It's like a light 1. It's really nothing. It's a nothing little project here. Like, I just kind of look at this as a song though. Like, that's the biggest thing for me. I feel like it's just a song. And if I say like, oh, a song is better than MTI, it feels weird, you know? And I feel like if I say, oh, this one singular song is 10 out of 10, you know, it feels like, I mean, yes, this song is a 10 out of 10, but it just feels so weird because it's literally just a singular song. And it's not like a long season scenario where there's like certain like long sections of it. It's literally just like a, and it's over, you know? It's a very strong 9 to a light 10. It goes back and forth for me, but as of right now, I'm feeling like a strong 9 to a 10. It's an amazing little listen, but it's like, I don't know, it's just, the format of it kind of throws me off as well. After Uneven Compromise, though, he decided to drop more fire with the first installment in the 3-sided tape trilogy. This thing flies by so fast. Like, I think it's like maybe an hour long. It just goes by like that, man. Like, it's crazy. I remember like, I was like on that. I'm pretty sure there's one song on here, and it's like 20 minutes long. I started it, then I was doing something else, and then I check, and it's like 15 minutes, and I'm like, yo, what? It goes by like so fast, and it's just amazing. It's super weird. It's super all over the place. The songs on here do not overstay their welcome. They're just like constant little like pieces of a puzzle, and they just fall. And it's so weird and all over the place. And I love the sound of this one. I love the more plunderphonic style of this one. It's probably my favorite out of the three-sided tape trilogy. It's amazing, man. I like every like side to this one. It's like a decent to strong 9 for me. I love this one so much. And then in A tier, we got Volume 2. This one is also pretty great. I just don't think it has like the standout moments of Volume 1. I feel like some of the songs on here overstay their welcome and kind of just like, I'm like, are you serious, man? I don't really want to hear this for this long. It's still a great listen, though. I just feel like it tends to have some of the weaker moments. I feel like it has more weaker moments than Volume 1. It's an amazing listen, though. It's a light to decent 9 for me. I still really like this one. It's just not on par with the first one. And then we got Weeping Worm, I think that's what it's called. This can go with Criminal Hypnosis, I think. It's basically on par with it. I might even put it above. It was a nice short listen. It wasn't anything crazy. I'd say every song on here is good. It just doesn't have many memorable moments for me. It's a nice short listen, though. I liked it a lot, you know? It's like a light to decent 8 for me. I'd probably say that about Criminal Hypnosis, too, at this point. And then we got Three-Sided Tape Volume 3. This one's going to go in A tier as well. I feel like this and Volume 2 are basically on par. I feel like this has some of the highest highs out of any three-sided tape album. But, like, I feel like it goes on for way too long. Like, I get it. I like this. I like how it's just like this 2-hour, I think 30-minute, like, adventure. But it has some of the weakest moments of any three-sided tape, like, project. It also has some of the highest highs, though. Like, you have that one real, like, punk song on here. I love that song. You have some of the weird, more breakcore stuff. You got these weird synth songs. But then you also have, like, moments where it's just, like, this guy, and I think he's just talking, and he's just like, whatever. I remember there's, like, that one, at the start of one of the sides, it's just, like, this weird, warbly voice talking. I'm like, are you serious, dude? Yeah, it has some of the I feel like it has some of the lowest moments. It also has some of the highest moments of the whole trilogy. I feel like this and Volume 2 are on par. It's also a light to decent 9. I'll put it above, honestly. It's an amazing album. It just kind of goes on for a little too long. It's fun, though. It's a fun album. And then we got Oblivion Access. This one's going to go above Three-Sided Tape, Volume 3. This is just a consistent banger of an album. I think it's a little above 40 minutes, but it kind of felt like it was going on for a little. People say, like, this is experimental. I guess it's experimental. It wasn't that noisy. I thought this was going to be a really noisy album, but it kind of wasn't, honestly, and I'm kind of disappointed. It's still an amazing album, though. I still really liked it. I thought it was really consistent. I like the vibes of this one. I think the closer is amazing. Overall, though, I was just kind of left wanting more, like, noisy production is all. It's very good, though. I actually really liked it. It's a decent 9, despite my complaints. And then we got this one EP with the dog laying down, or the wolf laying down. I don't know what that is. I don't remember it. Don't remember the name to it. This can go in like C or D. I don't know. It was cool, I guess. Like, it's just kind of like the first 2 songs are good, and then the third song, like, the synth gets kind of repetitive. Yeah, it was good, I guess. Like, it could go in like I don't think it's a bad project, but I didn't think it was like particularly like really good. It's like a light 7 for me, like a strong 6 to a light 7. I don't remember much, but it was good, I guess. And then we just sped by through all that. And this part of the video is going to be a little long, because next up is Volcanic Bird Enemy and the Voice Concern. And I'm going to have to go on a tangent for this one, because I feel like this is kind of, like, I don't really get too personal on the channel. I'm not going to do that, but I feel like the story that I kind of have with this album is pretty interesting. So let's go. So I found out about Lil Ugly Mane through his feature on the Denzel Curry EP 13. I heard his feature on this song, Zeltron 6 Billion. That song is amazing, and I loved his feature on it. So I was like, oh, you know, I do this with a lot of artists. I did this with Denzel on Bald Remix, where I'm like, yo, I should check out this artist's music. And I check out Lil Ugly Mane, and I listened to, like, some of his songs off of Mr. Thug Isolation. That's his most popular album, so I'm like, why not? Listen to, like, a few songs, and I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan of this sound. Don't like his rapping voice. Don't like the production. It feels a little messy. So I just didn't listen to it, you know? I was like, you know, not for me. And then who knows how long, but, like, a little later, I browsed Rim. I go on Rate Your Music to find more like albums that fit kind of genres that I want to get into. So one day I was like, oh, I want to listen to psychedelic music. So I'm like, oh, let's go through the psychedelic genre charts, and I check out neo psychedelia, whatever you want to say. And I saw Long Season by Fishmans. I love that album. So I was like, yo, this is like the sound. So I was like, oh, what else is there? Saw Ween. Never really checked out Ween, but I've heard of them. I'm like, oh, cool. They make neo psychedelia. And then I keep going, haven't seen these albums before. And then I see Lil Ugly Mane, and I see this album, Volcanic Bird Enemy. And I click on it because I've heard of Lil Ugly Mane, obviously, before. But that album cover really, I don't know, it struck a chord with me. Like, I don't know why, but it struck a specific chord with me. You look at it, and it's just, like, weird. Like, it's this guy, he's lying in a bar, and there's this freaking uncanny-looking weird bird thing, and then this police puppet behind him, and he's just, like, he looks like he's, like, just over it, And the album cover was entrancing. I found it to be pretty interesting. I was like, like Lil Ugly Mane, he made that weird rap music. How was he making this like neo psychedelia stuff? I didn't listen to anything off of it, but I went straight to my album of the year, looked this album up, and threw it on this list of albums that I just want to listen to, And then like one day, a little while after that too, I was like, oh, what should I listen to? Because there are times where I just like don't know what I should listen to, so I just go to like my random like album list, and then I'm like, oh, I should listen to this album. It's psychedelic, why not? And then I listen to the first song, Bird Enemy Car. And if you heard that song, you know what it is. It's this female voice repeating, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" with these little piano loops in the background and this just like nostalgic piano lead. And like that, like those little horns in the background, like the something about it paired with the cover struck a big chord in me. It felt like an identity crisis in song form. It honestly, just like the cover itself was already kind of haunting to me. It was super uncanny, and when you look at it more, you see like the little outlet on the bottom left. That like for the longest time, I thought it was literally just a white like frame around it. But then I saw like, oh, this is like a painting on a wall, I think. It struck a chord with me, and it felt super scary. Like, I'm not even gonna lie with you, I'm not even gonna joke. I thought this was a scary sounding like song and album. Something about it just really hit with me, and it struck like that weird like liminal space nostalgia sound to me, where it felt super uncomfortable for me, and I did not like it at all. And like it felt like, as I said, an identity crisis. It felt so fragmented and all over the place, and I didn't like how it made me feel. I don't really know how to word it. And then after having like that moment where I'm just like literally shook to my core, and I'm like, I honestly feel sick to my stomach, I delete that album off my list, and I'm like, never gonna touch that, never gonna touch this guy's discography. Never in my life. Something about it just, I didn't like how it made me feel, didn't want to listen to it. And then maybe, who knows how long later, like maybe a month or two later, pretty recently, I listened to Uneven Compromise out of sheer curiosity. As I said when I was talking about it, I didn't like it that much. I thought it was just good, but I didn't like that first part at all. But I liked everything after that. I was like, oh, this was a good EP. I gave it like a decent 7 on Album of the Year because I just dropped like a random review on it. Out of sheer curiosity, though, like later that week, I listened to Mr. Thug Isolation and loved it. I still love it. And then I was kind of intrigued. I was like, should I listen to this guy's music? And it kind of became an obsession for me. Like, this happens to me with certain artists that I just kind of want to get into, where I start like watching YouTube videos on all of them. And I'm like, I should listen to him. So I went and I speed ran his whole freaking discography. And literally last night I listened to Volcanic Bird Enemy. And like at that point, before I listened to Volcanic Bird Enemy, I had already re-listened to Uneven Compromised. I loved it. And I went back to Volcanic Bird Enemy, listened to it, and I had a full circle moment. It's his best album for me. Something about it is super, super weird. Like I think that I've just kind of gotten past that, just that stage where I don't know why, but I was scared of it. It kind of feels like a warm hug for me now. Something about it, it's kind of, I don't really know how to describe it, but I kind of needed this. I'll be honest with you. It feels like a guy, like with the opener track, I've had a full circle moment with it where it feels now like a guy kind of looking at his problems and seeing like, oh, well, how can I move past this? You know, who am I? And after that moment, it's a psychedelic masterpiece. Last night, it was such a fun album experience. Just having like these really fun, like honestly, people say it's a sad album. It felt more like melancholy to me. It felt more happy, honestly. It felt like a guy coming to terms with his problems and kind of seeing past it, you know? I was singing along, honestly, like Benadryl Submarine. Just, it puts a smile on my face, something about it. It's a super sobering album. I feel like the best way to describe this, it kind of feels like stumbling around on the street with a drunk friend singing songs. It's such a amazing and beautiful album. I love his voice, love the production, and I just love all the fusions on here. It's such an amazing listen. There's no skips on here. And I've just had a full circle moment where, like I said, I think this is his best album, and I absolutely love it. It's a 10 for me. And I find this to be really interesting. I don't know why I found it to be so horrifying to begin with, but now I absolutely love it. And it's his best, as I said. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because I thought it was pretty interesting. Kind of went on for a little while, but I don't know. I just found it personally to be a pretty interesting experience, and I thought I'd share. After that, though, is this one EP thing that dropped, like, I think 2022. It's called, like, I Think the World Would Be Better Without You. It was cool. It felt like Uneven Compromise Part 2 with more electronic stuff. It wasn't anything crazy, though. I don't know. I thought it was good. It's good. It's like a light to decent 7 for me. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was just a good little listen. And there's my Little Ugly Mane tier list. I think he's amazing, dude. I think that, like, Jesus Christ. I love his discography so much now. I think the whole full circle moment I've had with him is honestly super interesting. I don't know why. I felt like I've never had, like, an artist like that with me before. You know, like, I've had Blade where I just thought his music was bad, but then now I think it's amazing. But with Lil Ugly Mane, I've had a full circle with him, and I think that he's probably, like, a top 15 rapper for me. I'd say he's an amazing artist, too. I'm excited to see what he makes next, and I will definitely listen to his other side projects. I was going to listen to Bedwetter sometime. I was going to listen to some of his other, like, just instrumental stuff. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to do his normal discography here, and I really enjoyed it. Share your rankings in the comments as always. I'm glad you made it this far in the video. I had a lot of fun going through his discography, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.